Hello and welcome to Apprentify's first episode of our podcast Podify, where today we'll be talking about the different experiences between university and apprenticeships. So I've got with me here today Bekki and Matt. Hey guys, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. So just briefly then, just so the listeners learn a little bit more about you then, guys. So Matt, if you could tell me a bit about yourself first and what's got you here today.
Yeah, so I'm a digital marketing executive currently at Apprentify, and I started my journey back in February of 2020. After struggling to find a job for after finishing college at the peak of lockdown, I eventually decided that an apprenticeship was probably the way for me, and lo and behold, Apprentify had some open vacancies. Funnily enough, it was Apprentify were offering me an apprenticeship at their own company, so I did an apprenticeship at the apprenticeship company. So I feel like I've had a pretty good experience so far, but I've been here for about 2 years almost now.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, I'm glad you've been enjoying it. That's wicked. So how about you, Bekki? Could you tell me a little about yourself, please?
Yeah, so I went to the University of Central Lancashire in Preston. And my experience was completely different. Like, I always wanted to go to university, so to study graphic design. So I went on to university for 3 years, and then I had the placement 1 year. So I was there for 4 years. And then I went on to education route down the education side. So I worked at NSU, I've worked at college/university, and now I work at Apprentify doing apprenticeships.
Oh, brilliant. So 2 completely different experiences there. Yeah. That's really interesting. So Bekki, how do you feel that university then has benefited you and your career?
I think it's more so the design side. There wasn't really, I knew something was missing within my design career, because I was quite different compared to a lot of people that were in on my course, and I felt there was definitely something missing. And what it was marketing. There was always things that I really wanted to do that wasn't just graphic design. There was always other little bits, obviously I like social media, the other media kind of things, and so yeah, that's how I got into that kind of career.
Oh, wicked. So in your university then, did you study marketing with your graphic design? No, just solely graphic design?
It was solely graphic design. It was just, they were very agency based, so they were pushing us to agency work, and it wasn't really me. It was just purely graphics, purely this branding, and drill it into your head. They do have really good contacts and things like that, so I had really good placements.
Yeah.
But there was something a bit more that I needed from just graphics.
No, I completely get that. And graphics is such a skill. So I understand it probably helped you, learn them skills. But I understand those little extra bits that were missing for you. Yeah. Similarly, Matt, how do you feel like an apprenticeship then benefited you in your career?
Yeah, so I'm always going to be biased towards apprenticeships. It was obviously mostly my first full-time job being at this apprenticeship provider. But I have no regrets when it comes to taking my apprenticeship, and I kind of always knew it was the path I wanted to go down. And I just know, obviously, I never had a brilliant experience at school. I never thought I was down for that education path. So an apprenticeship was a perfect thing where I can be in a workplace, learning on-hand skills, being paid, but also having that 20% off the job hours, where I was also able to do that little bit of learning and learn the skills that come alongside marketing.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And I know you mentioned there that, education wasn't really for you in school. What aspect of it was that you struggled with?
I think education is just for some people and just isn't for some people. There was definitely no specific aspect of say high school and college which wasn't for me. I enjoyed the social aspects, I enjoyed certain lessons, but the way of teaching, of being spoken to for 6 hours a day for 5 days a week, was definitely wasn't something I wanted to willingly carry on by going to uni, for example.
Yeah.
Which is why I thought an apprenticeship would be the better option.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It makes perfect sense. And just whilst I'm speaking to you, Matt, if you could go back in time, if you could in an ideal world, and change your decision between uni or apprenticeships then, now you've actually dived into an apprenticeship, you've probably seen some of your friends might have gone to university, or you might have seen the uni life, like whilst you were working alongside your apprenticeship. Is there anything you'd change, or are you happy with your decision?
I definitely never sway people away from going to university, but an apprenticeship was definitely the best route for me.
Yeah.
I feel like, it gave me the skills I needed, but I think it's not only the skills that you get for your specific apprenticeship, but also the confidence. I feel like you can go to uni, you can develop these, like, in Bekki's case, for example, a brilliant graphic design skills.
Yeah.
However, you're then going into a workplace with no real work experience. You don't really know how a company functions in the, like, professional office atmosphere.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, no, I don't think I would change anything if I went back in time. Like, uni definitely has its benefits, but I feel like apprenticeships just have that edge.
Yeah. No, and I completely agree. I think a key point to take away from that is that, you said it was right for you to do an apprenticeship, and, you're so right. It's exactly what is right for the person, and they should really look into the pros and cons of both and see what route fits for them. But it's great to hear an apprenticeship work well for you. That's really interesting. Thank you, Matt. And, the same for you, Bekki, then. So is there anything that you could go back in time? Like, if you could, for example, are you happy with your decision of going to university, or would you change anything?
Well, since being, working for Apprentify, I didn't really know the kind of courses that you can go on to, like marketing-wise. Like, I never really knew marketing was what I wanted to go into while I was at university. I always thought graphic design, agency. It was drilled into your head to go to agency, and it wasn't anything that I kind of wanted. So to know that, like, there's apprenticeships out there that I kind of struggled at university, that, it wasn't really the right thing for me to do at that time. I felt like there was more to get out of it than just university, because it is a massive setback. It's 4 years of your life that you just, like, you are learning about graphic design, you are learning about the, like, other kind of things that go on to that. But yeah, I definitely would have done an apprenticeship over it, because I feel like I'd be a lot further in life than what I am now. And, like, my role as well, my role is a graphic designer still. So it's like I could have been like a senior, like, now, if I just did an apprenticeship. Like, you are set back at university 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a valuable point on that as well, because I remember throughout my whole experience in high school, apprenticeships were never really mentioned to me. And I feel like it's similar to college. It's very heavily focused on pushing you towards university a lot of the time, and they definitely don't talk enough about the amazing opportunities that come with apprenticeships. It's not, like I said, university is not for everyone. Sometimes people do want to be able to earn while they learn, and getting genuine work experience, which, in my opinion, looks better on your CV, because it shows you've worked somewhere.
Yeah. There was never really any apprenticeships out there that were kind of creative either. So, like, when I was, like, at college, there was never really anything. It was always university. So to know, like, obviously Apprentify offer them really creative roles, it's amazing.
Yeah. No, you're so right. I completely agree with you.
It was always, like, obviously, like, construction apprenticeships, or, like, you go into, like, business or anything like that. There's never any kind of, like, marketing ones. Like, I never heard of this before until I came here.
And that's really interesting. I think that is a real misconception with apprenticeships as well. Like, you've just mentioned about, the building work and the trade work. A lot of people presume that an apprenticeship is a 16-year-old leaving school and going into a trade.
Yeah.
Whereas in reality, we get apprenticeships here from all ages and all different skills, like digital wise. So it's important to get the message across, and also people that, fancy changing a career, someone that's in, for example, HR and wants to expand on their digital skills and get into marketing. It's great. So no, that's great. Thank you, guys. And if you were, I love this question, I always love to ask this one. So if you were your younger self again and you'd give yourself some advice for your future, what advice would you give yourselves? I'll start with you, Matt.
I think my main bit of advice would to kind of just go for it, and don't be scared, and just, I guess, start working on your confidence. Like, as soon as you can, really. Obviously, starting my apprenticeship during COVID made it quite difficult, because obviously I wasn't able to get into the office, and I wasn't really able to speak to much of, like, the wider company. And And what I noticed is when I started really sticking myself out there and talking to a lot more people and doing things which take me out of my comfort zone, my confidence really excelled. But not only that, I stopped double thinking myself, and I was able to, I guess in a way, create work and create campaigns which were potentially better because I had more confidence in myself and in my writing skills. But I mean, I guess it's not only that, but it's also the fact of the confidence kind of gave me the opportunity to. I often turn down maybe extracurricular activities like doing podcasts like this or doing extra bits of work. So it's really just to, I guess, really just stick your head in the deep end and just go for what opportunities arise.
That's a great bit of advice. Thank you, Matt. What about you, Bekki?
Mine's very similar, to be honest. It's like believe in yourself, really, because like at university there was always you have to do better, you have to be better, you have to be this kind of person, things like that. And like that really like took back my confidence, because it's like I wasn't as good as everyone else. Like I was always a little bit behind on like other people, because a lot of people did animation, they did like all these other kind of really amazing things that I'm like, oh well, I really wanted to do them kinds of things, but I was a bit more like the marketing side of the graphics kind of thing, so everything was quite static. But but even if I show my work to like my mum or like anyone, they're like, oh my god, wow, that's so amazing. I never really thought it was amazing to myself, because I've always like had that setback of like, oh well, I'm not as good as everyone else. But the university definitely made you feel like you had to be better, you had to do better. But there was never like a time where, you know what, you actually are you're really good. You need that confidence, you need that kind of like skill set to be, out in the open world and like do things so completely differently, which is, that's why I'm here today.
Do you feel like you finally found that confidence in yourself?
Yes, 100%.
Good. No, I'm glad. Just wanted to double check, because you totally
It took a long time, but yes, I think I have.
No, I'm glad you finally found that. No, that's great. Is there anything else either of you guys would like to add before we finish up today's podcast?
Nothing from me.
No, that's great. Well, thank you so much for all your time today, guys, and thank you for listening. If you are listening on Spotify, please make sure that you follow us, and if you listen on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for our next podcast. Thank you.